Scott had contacted me a while ago, just to give you some history, and said, I'm concerned about the SAFE Act. I'd like to come in and talk to the town board. And what I said to Scott is what I'm going to tell every one of you sitting here. The most powerful way, or the best way to accomplish this, is to hear it from the people. Not from me, not from elected people, from you, the people who live in the town. So I asked Scott to make sure that he brought enough people here so that we can hear what you have to say. And with that, I guess, Mr. Minute, we will give you the floor.
For those of you who don't know me, my name's Nick Minute. Moved here in 2009, joined the fire company, and that's how I know Scott. And he had asked me to make some comments on behalf of all of us tonight. So, the phrase "shall not be infringed" does not sound like ambiguous language. "Cannot be infringed" seems to be even clearer. Yet throughout history, both of these phrases have been the topic of lengthy debate and interpretation. Gun ownership is something that is woven into the fabric of the American being, and contrary to what some may believe, has nothing to do with hunting. Although hunting is a legitimate use of our firearms, it is unlikely that our founding fathers, after having fought for our independence, were concerned about the future of deer hunting. The right to bear arms is a natural right that predates ratification of our Constitution. The right to bear arms guarantees our right to a peaceful existence by giving us the tools to defend ourselves should that peace be disturbed. In passing the SAFE Act, the rights of the citizens of New York have been assaulted and our ability to defend ourselves has been diminished. Limiting magazine capacity to 7 rounds does nothing more than ban weapons in common use throughout the country. Nearly every full-size semi-automatic pistol on the market today accepts a magazine with more than 7 rounds. It may be many months, years, if ever, before firearms manufacturers make 7-round magazines to be sold in the state of New York. On April 15th, none of these pistols will be able to be sold in New York anymore. The magazine restriction doesn't end with pistols. Many children are introduced to the world of firearms with a .22 rifle. Under the SAFE Act, a popular .22 rifle, the Ruger 1022, will be banned for sale in New York because it comes standard with a 10-round magazine. Interestingly enough, the Marlin Model 60, another .22 semi-automatic rifle fed by a 14-round tubular magazine, is exempt under the law. Redefining assault weapons under the SAFE Act using a one-feature test of primarily cosmetic characteristics essentially bans the future sale of certain weapons in New York and does nothing to increase the safety of New Yorkers. An example of 2 firearms that are nearly identical in function but hold different classifications under the new law are the Remington 750 Woodsmaster and any AR-15 platform rifle. Both rifles are semi-automatic, fed by detachable magazines. The Woodsmaster is still legal because it has a Monte Carlo style stock. The AR-15, however, is classified as an assault weapon because of a cosmetic feature, the pistol grip, that does absolutely nothing to enhance the performance of the rifle. Issues surrounding the SAFE Act not end with the diminished rights. Several provisions of the law amount to nothing more than unfunded mandates. Since February 15th, county clerks have been inundated with opt-out forms from pistol permit holders. The state police have been tasked with creating a database. They have to provide registration forms for people who own assault weapons already that are grandfathered in under the law, and they have to come up with criteria and a methodology for tracking high-volume ammunition purchasers. Nothing comes for free, and the costs of this act have yet to be told. Perhaps the most troubling issue with the SAFE Act is the manner in which it was passed. The idea that politicians capitalized on the tragedies that occurred in Newtown and Webster is appalling, yet very real. The legal document, as cleverly crafted and broad as the SAFE Act, was not dreamed up overnight. Governor Cuomo knew that when people were still raw with emotion, his letter of necessity would make passage of his gun control agenda a done deal. What threat was immediately imposed upon the state of New York that warranted waiving the 3-day aging period? As was stated in the debate on the Assembly floor, the 3-day aging period would have meant the difference between voting on Tuesday and voting on Friday. Also, if there was an imminent threat, why hasn't the federal government or other state governments moved to pass new legislation? Had this bill been properly debated, comical and embarrassing errors, such as not exempting police from the magazine restrictions, would not have been made before the bill was signed into law. And if there was an imminent threat that required immediate passage, why do so many provisions of the Act not take effect for months and even a year after the Act became law? Many gun owners, many of the people here tonight, first responders, elected officials, public employees, veterans, are the same people that work hard day in and day out to make our community stronger and a better place to live. I'm proud of these people and honored to be speaking in front of you tonight. It's bothersome that with a stroke of a pen, the new law has created a group of criminals out of law-abiding citizens. It simply does not make sense to think that legislation that diminishes the rights of law-abiding citizens is going to solve the problem of violence in our society. Rushing the SAFE Act through the legislature deprived the citizens of New York of their rights, not only the right to bear arms, but the right to assemble and petition their government. I applaud the county legislators, local governments, and law enforcement agencies that have stepped up and voiced their opposition on behalf of their constituencies. I'd like to conclude with a quote from Thomas Paine. "He that would make his own liberty secure must guard even his enemy from oppression, for if he violates this duty, he establishes a precedent that will reach to himself." The SAFE Act has alienated and violated the Second Amendment rights of many people in the town of Berne. The issue of gun control aside, it has denied us all, as citizens of the United States and the state of New York, the opportunity to participate in our government. As elected officials, you should be concerned on that basis alone. As elected officials, you have the duty to represent your constituents and have the unique opportunity to give us the voice that was denied us by Governor Cuomo and the state legislature. On behalf of the residents of Berne for which I speak, I strongly urge you to pass a resolution opposing the SAFE Act. Thank you.